First and foremost, thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Freshman Investiture Ceremony, our first annual one. We're hoping this is going to become a great tradition here, and it's my pleasure to introduce your MC for the afternoon, Ms. Lauren Boothby, Coordinator for New Student Programs. Please give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Grant, and thank you to all of our orientation leaders and our office staff for helping us out today. But most importantly, thank you all for joining us today, and welcome to the class of 2016. Good afternoon. I am honored to be the first to welcome you all to our inaugural investiture ceremony for the incoming class of 2016. This is the first event of its kind at the university, and this event marks the beginning of a brand new tradition here on campus. A tradition that we hope you will all say that you are proud that you are a part of today. Thank you. Many of you may be wondering, what exactly is an investiture? I already came to Beacon Beginnings orientation, so what is this all about today? Some of you are here because you heard there was going to be ice cream. And there is, I promise, we'll have it later. But why are we here today? What exactly is an investiture? The dictionary defines an investiture as the action of formally investing a person with honors or rank. We have created this event for you today for all of our incoming first-year students to serve as your formal induction to the University of Massachusetts community. At UMass Boston, we are invested in your future, and we ask you to be invested in your time here as well. We hope that at the conclusion of today's ceremony, you will feel a sense of pride in the class of 2016 and in becoming a member of this community. Today, we will make a promise to be invested in you and to provide all the resources both in and out of the classroom for you to be successful during your time here. But you must also make a promise to us. A promise that you will take advantage of all of these resources and make the most of your experience here. In this investiture ceremony, you will hear about academic opportunities from the Office of the Provost and how to become a student leader from our undergraduate student body president. You will also hear from the Chancellor, our keynote speaker today, and you will experience the ceremonial pinning from the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. All of us here on this stage and all of the faculty and staff sitting among you and in the back are here today because we want to see you all succeed as students, as leaders, and as members of society. Make the most of your experience and take advantage of every opportunity that comes your way. And when you walk across your stage at commencement in 4 years, we want you to know that, like many students before you, you have shaped this university for the better. As you are listening to our speakers today, I want you all to decide, how will the class of 2016 leave its mark on the UMass Boston campus? What will your legacy be? Thank you and welcome. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce, representing the Office of the Provost, the Associate Provost, Christine Elster.
Thank you, Lauren, and welcome everybody. It's so nice to see you. Provost Winston Langley sends his best wishes, his warmest regards, and his sincerest regrets that he can't be here. He really wanted to be here today, but I got lucky and I'm here today. So, thinking about your experience as a freshman reminded me of my experience as a freshman student many decades ago. And I came into a room something like this and was greeted by a very stern administrator with erect posture, no affect on her face, and what we called a French twist. She said to us something a little unexpected. She said, "Are you nervous?" And I thought, yeah, I really am nervous, and I'm kind of glad that somebody understands that. And then she said, "Are you excited?" And we all said, yeah, we really are. We're nervous and we're excited. And I'm imagining that that's true for some of you here today, too. Nervous is okay because it means that you're engaged in something that's important to you. Excited means there's all kinds of things going on that you're looking forward to. And so I think that's a good combination of feelings. This ceremony, the investiture ceremony, has emerged from a long and distinguished tradition of investing people in high office and new positions. And it seeks to embody the concept of transfer, where one status is changed and one gains a new standing, a new outlook, but above all, a new set of responsibilities and new possibilities. And what possibilities there are here. I want to just take a moment on behalf of the provost to point out that you've come to a research university, and you may have friends or family members who are going to other kinds of educational institutions. I myself went to a small liberal arts college for my undergraduate degree, and there are all kinds of wonderful educational institutions, but a research institution has very specific characteristics. The Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching classifies UMass Boston as a doctoral research university with high research activity. And that means something for you as freshmen and all the way through your experience at UMass Boston. It means you're going to be interacting with faculty who are not only transmitting knowledge, they're creating new knowledge. And sometimes they're going to do that with you. And you're going to have the opportunity to work with people who are really learning something, producing information, translating it for other settings, and sharing it with the world. And that's kind of an exciting place to be. And in the last fiscal year, UMass Boston was awarded more than $53 million in research funding. So I think that tells you a little something about the research standing of this institution. And we've received many acknowledgments for our research standing as well as for other characteristics of the university. For example, UMass Boston is among the nation's top 75 best value public colleges and universities in the country, according to the Princeton Review. The Aspen Institute for Center for Business Education includes our College of Management in its biennial ranking of the Global 100 Business Schools. That's an international standing. And I could go on. But you're coming to a university that has a lot of stature in higher education, and that's going to reflect on you as students and as graduates. Our faculty are very distinguished. Professor of Biology, Kamal Bawa, has recently received the Royal Norwegian Society of Science and Letters Gunnerus Sustainability Award, also known as the Nobel Prize in Sustainability. Web Nurse magazine named Jacqueline Fawcett, one of our nursing professors, one of the 20 most influential people in the field of nursing. And Professor Lloyd Swartz won the Pulitzer Prize for Criticism. And again, I could go on. But I want to say one thing about our professors. Yes, they are distinguished, but they love our students, and our students love their professors. It's something that's very special about this place. You're going to have lots of choices here. Some of you may have come in knowing what your major is, and some of you may be looking around a little bit. We have 65 bachelor's degree programs on this campus, and many, many certificates, programs of study, minors, and other options. We have 41 master's degree programs, should you be ready for that when you graduate, and 16 doctoral programs. So this institution is very rich. There's a lot going on here. And on behalf of the provost, I want to ask you to pick one thing every semester beyond going to your regularly assigned classes to do. Something to get involved in that helps you to take advantage of being at this fine research institution. You're going to get a lot of traditional advice about how much to study, keeping up with your work, attending class, selecting your general education courses. You'll get a lot of advice. Pay attention. It'll be good advice. I'm not here today to offer that kind of advice. I want to just say to you, when you pick that thing to do every semester, you might be having a tough semester, and it might just be, you know what, I can get to a special lecture by somebody who is visiting our campus, and that's all I can do this semester. Other semesters you might say, I'm ready for an internship, maybe a paid internship. You might be ready for a study abroad experience. We have a new undergraduate research program. You could be paired with a faculty member and engaged in real, cutting-edge, publishable research. We have a field station on Nantucket Island in which we do biological research. You might get involved there. We have our own radio station, WUMB. They have work study students involved there, and they have volunteers. We have a student-run, entirely student-run art gallery, the Harbor Art Gallery. It is entirely managed and curated by students. Okay. We have greenhouses on top of the science building. There is just so much going on here. So please, promise yourself every semester I'm going to do one thing outside of my regular courses that helps me feel like I'm really part of this institution. I'm a university student. I'm at an exceptional institution. I'm not going to miss out on this opportunity. So let this investiture ceremony mark a new status for you as a student at an outstanding research university, a status including new rights, new responsibilities, and new possibilities. We welcome you to these possibilities. We welcome you to the University of Massachusetts, Boston. You are one of us now. Thank you.
Thank you, Christy. And now I'd like to introduce your undergraduate student body president, Jesse Wright.
Good afternoon. You guys having fun yet? Yeah, one person's having fun? That's great. My name is Jesse Wright, and I do serve as your student body president. I have to commend Vice Chancellor Patrick Day and Lauren for making this event take off, especially in such a short time frame. I think it was John F. Kennedy who said, "Change is the law of life, and those who only look to the past or present are certain to miss the future." The focus here today is appropriately on our freshmen, the imminent future of our university. I want to share a story about the passion I have for finding and involving the next generation of student leaders who will love UMass Boston as much as I do and who will fight for it as hard as I do. It's imperative that the legacy that we are creating today for tomorrow will be sustained and enhanced in the all-important years to come. Last year, I met a young lady in this room, sitting where you're sitting, named Kayla Worthy. Kayla was an out-of-state freshman who didn't know a soul. She'd chosen UMass Boston over her parents' alma mater, Penn State, because during her first visit here, she fell in love. Since that day, exactly 1 year ago, she's been elected a senator in the undergraduate student government. She was hired as the assistant coordinator of the Black Student Center, one of our largest and most popular and active student centers on campus. And she's now changing her university from its highest levels as your vice president. 1 year. Don't let anyone tell you that just because you're a freshman, you cannot immediately affect great change here at UMass Boston. Now to the chancellor. It's very important to not only recognize the accomplishments of great leaders, but also to understand what drives and motivates their greatness. And there's also no better way to provide insight into someone than with their own words. I'm going to read 3 responses from an interview that I dug up that Chancellor Motley gave long before his days here at UMass Boston. Here's the Chancellor on who he is as a person, how he handles crisis, and how he measures his success. When he was asked about what specifically facilitated who he was as a person, he responded, "For me, it's more about remembering all the values you had growing up, remembering the special kind of person that you are, remembering the things that you do to make people smile. It's the little things, the important things, like saying thank you and having manners and being a gracious person, no matter where you go in life. These will be the pieces that hold you together and keep you moving on that path to success." When questioned about everything he was involved in, and if he ever felt like he was spreading himself too thin or taking on too much, Chancellor Motley replied, "Sometimes everything is in crisis all at once. But if it's all in crisis at one time, then it means it's not being managed or led correctly. It's sort of how I live my life. When I'm not busy, I feel strange. People say that you're involved in this and this and that. Well, they're not random acts or fake interests. They're things that I deeply care about. You can never be involved in too many things that you really care about." The last question was, how do you measure success? He answered, "First of all, you can't do it by yourself. Because my success is hundreds and thousands of students who so far during my 30 years as an educator and going forward had a great experience because we've had a relationship. I have impacted their lives. When I get the notes and the letters, I see that they've accomplished something in their lives. That's my success. It's not the tailor-made suits, of which he does wear very well, though. It's not the cars you drive. It's none of that stuff. It's the people that you've impacted and how their lives have changed and how that's impacted you. That, at the end of the day, is what success is all about to me. Class of 2016, please join me in welcoming your Chancellor, Keith Motley.
Where you dig that up at, man, huh? You know, it's funny when people start digging up things in your life and they are going to tell them in front of a crowd and you've never seen it before. But I'm just so grateful that what you said is something that I would say today, because it's how I feel standing before you, being your chancellor at this moment in our lives as we go on this journey together. I am just so proud to sit out here and stand here and watch you sitting in this audience for a few reasons. One, you actually came. And you have to understand that one of the most important things you can do in your life is just show up. Showing up means that you're going to bring something to the table because you're bringing your best you. And you make a difference. You make a difference. And until you understand that's not just some cliche-ish chancellor-like notion that someone wants to say to make you feel good, and when you realize that it really is you that makes the difference and that you're going to be tremendous contributors to life, tremendous contributors to your family, to your community, and where you're going to be dependent on just to be you. You don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to model behaviors that you watch on television or that you see somewhere else. You can just be the best you, and that matters. And so when I stand here today as your chancellor, I'm so glad that a long time ago, a little old lady who used to walk the hallways told me, thank you for being just you. Because she says, everyone walks by me every day. And when you see me, you tell me hello. And just because I clean these bathrooms doesn't mean that I'm not here. So whenever someone was talking about me in those bathrooms, and they thought she was insignificant and she wasn't there, she would call me on the phone and she'd come down and see me. She'd say, hey, Keith, I was in the bathroom and so-and-so said such and such about this and that. So I'd sit in a meeting waiting for so-and-so to do such and such about this and that because she told me, because she protected me, because she understood that I saw the person in her. We at this university see the person in you. That person who's going to go from here, from this perch, as someone who just walked in this spot, just showed up. Walking around, some of you didn't even know how to get in the back of the campus center. You walked all the way down and then came across the top just to get back. And now you're getting ready to get active and volunteer. Some of you have already started. And you were smart enough to come to be part of history. Do you know how important it is to be part of history? That you're going to be the beginning. When they write the books about this university, you're in the class that started the investiture process. That's your gift to the future. And you were here. So you're going to give a gift to the generations of students that come behind you. I remember sitting here listening to some guy tell me that years ago too. And I thought to myself, that didn't make a difference. But now I see you. And I know that because you connect to me, you connect back to that person's legacy. And so you live on in the future through the work that you do through other people. And so now their student stands in front of you. And he didn't want to sit there in the middle of an afternoon, but he showed up. And now look at you. Oh, what possibilities we have in this room. You haven't even begun to think about the difference you're going to make. Nor should you, because you have the right to change that tomorrow if you want to. On this journey, don't let anyone lock you into what they think the notion of success for you should be. Or don't lock yourself into that. Wake up every day considering what the possibilities can be for your life. And then take them and run with them. And then wake up the next day and it'll be okay if you decide that today I don't want to be what I thought I wanted to be yesterday. But make sure that at the core of all that is a decent human being. Someone who has values. Someone who has core values. Someone who understands that the greatest gift that you can give somebody is knowledge and exposure. And so the gift that you bring to the classroom every day when you show up is such a wonderful gift to your students, to your professors, and to yourself. And so you learn, but then you gift that knowledge to somebody else. Then you learn some more. You guys see it in your computer games. When you power up, you just almost like gaining knowledge. So you power up with the knowledge, then you give it away, but you don't want to give it all away because you might lose something. Then you grab some more, and you get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then you go out into wherever that computer universe is and you change the world. Well, that's your world. And so I'm so proud that I'm able to be at this time in our history, at this investiture, one that was conceived by a young man who's sitting up on the stage, and he'll have the honor of putting on you what I have on me already. I want to thank all those who are involved in our freshman programs this summer, who are leading them, who penned me earlier. I want to thank you. It's an honor to have been penned by you. More importantly, it's an honor to know that I did not have to show up to orientation this summer because I show up because you were there. And as soon as you understand that we connect to each other in a way that if you're in the room, that means I'm in the room. And if I'm in the room, it means you're in the room. So I want to thank you, all of you that have been volunteering. I want to thank Vice Chancellor Day for envisioning this ceremony. I want to thank you, Lauren, because, you have all this energy. And sometimes when someone has energy, you like to test them. Let me see if she's really like that. So she comes in the room, she's all bubbly and stuff, and so you just look at her and say, just to test her. But she keeps on being bubbly. So you go, again, you try to act like you're ignoring her. And she keeps on being bubbly, and she gets more bubblier and bubblier and bubblier, and finally you have to sort of come into your own and be who you are, and you lose all that stuff of messing with her because she breaks you down because you know that she actually cares. Half of you showed up because she asked you to, and you knew she cared enough to ask you. Or someone else in your life asked you to be here today. You knew they cared enough to ask you. And that's an amazing thing. And so thank you all for that. Jesse Wright, this young man has been working his face off. He didn't just start. He didn't just pop up. Didn't just pop up and be president and all of a sudden he's all hyped up and wearing suits and stuff and showing up and trying to act like he's the chancellor. Didn't just start. He's been on that journey for a while. But some people get to what they think is success and then they rest. All of a sudden you get a title, so you go to sleep. You're student government president, so you don't have to show up to nothing anymore. You get to college, so you don't have to show up to class. Because nobody's going to ask you. All I'm going to do is collect your check. Because I'm smart enough to know that if you don't want to do something about it, I'm just going to take your money anyway. So keep on sleeping if you want to. You're not going to get there just because we call you student, or we call you an investiture-driven, pinned freshman. You got your pin on, so now you don't have to go to class, you don't have to do nothing because you're all that. Take that pin and try to get on any other bus except for the University of Massachusetts bus and see if they'll let you on. That pen is only worth something when the person who is pinned on understands their worth and understands their value. And it starts right now as someone who's coming to this system and navigating it, figuring it out, and moving on from here to there. And I can't wait to see that. I love seeing you when you come, and I love seeing you when you go. You know, we pin you now, and then I get a chance to pin some of you at commencement later on. And that's the fun part of that. But all in between, we're going to have lots of fun. Sometimes I don't even like the serious stuff. You know, I like barbecues and all them things we had, but I know serious is part of it because every now and then I have to let you know where I'm coming from. You know, where I'm coming from is I invest my time in trying to help you understand what difference this opportunity will make in your life. I try to do that by being an example of that for you, but more importantly, I try to do it by asking you questions or looking at you, and you know every question I'm asking you when I look at you when I haven't seen you in a while. And I give you this, and then I give you that. And it means stuff like, how are you doing? Or have you been going to class? How are the teachers? Or you got a problem? I'm asking that all in just a look. And then if I give you a handshake, I'm asking you a whole lot more. But if I put my arm around you and the 16 is getting raised, that might mean it's time to go because I might have heard something I need to put that 16 on you about. The reality is that we're in this preparatory period of our lives because we grow with you. You guys helped me so much. I had to get ready for you. I don't know nothing about some of this technology stuff, social media and all that. I'm texting my kids and they're telling me I'm too long. You know, I'm supposed to be LOLing and all that. And I say laughing out loud and lots of love. I didn't even know what it meant. But more importantly, I learn from you around what's going on with your generation of people. Because you tell me. Or I learn from you from watching you. Sometimes I just watch you. And it's funny because you think it's new. But I remember being you. It's a lot of fun being you. At this point in your life, you don't even know it yet. You'll be looking back at it and saying, Dad, I remember when the chancellor told me that I should really slow down and enjoy this part of my life because it doesn't get any better. Because you're growing, you're developing, and guess what? Then you're going to go from here and make a difference. That's an amazing period in your life. So we think you're the co-creators of new knowledge when you come on this campus. We're partners with you. That's why we learn from each other. So I don't just think that I'm going to stand on some kind of soapbox as I'm doing today, and that it's not going to come back to me in a way that I learned something as well. The disadvantage of today is I know this university and you don't know. 3 months from now, you get closer to being peers with some of the other students who have a head start on you. Then around springtime, we can't fool you anymore. You'll know some of the things that we know about this institution, good, and some of the things that we have challenges around that you're going to help us fix. Don't sit in this room and accept the responsibility of being a student without accepting responsibility of being involved and engaged at this institution. Involvement might mean going to class and doing what you're supposed to do. But if you reach beyond that, be solution-oriented and solution-driven. Don't run around whining all the time. And if you're whining, then you're not willing to do something about it. No one wants to hear you anyway. Think about how you're going to or how you would make it better for yourself. Then get involved and change it. Change it. Change it. Sometimes change starts with you. Blaming the whole world, but you're the problem. You are the one who decided that you don't like something that you never even tried. So a long time ago, you decided that mathematics wasn't for you, so you didn't really push it. And then you don't try it. But now you become more mature and you try it again and you find out that all of a sudden you want to go into the sciences, and that's cool. You can do those things at this university because we believe in that kind of transformation. And so that's the same thing about some of the other things in your life. You might start out not as active as you'd like to be so you can balance yourself. That doesn't mean that we won't welcome you as you become a sophomore, junior, or a senior in the process of helping this young man move student affairs and that agenda forward, or sharing with someone who comes behind you in that process, as those wonderful students who greeted me have done with you. Now, take advantage of this opportunity, please. Throw yourself into it as completely as you can. It's going to reward you 100-fold. Do your best to stay on track. Don't get off track. I told some athletes about me my freshman year at Northeastern University yesterday. You know, I had a great GPA. My mother thought I was all that. She saw it was like Dean's List. She looked in the book and she said 3 point something. Wow. But she didn't know you also had to have all those credits too. So you could have a 3.0 and have one course and you're supposed to have 16 and you're the man. Except when you got 15 missing courses and you're still a freshman. And your mom don't know. I mean, my mother didn't know back then that I was missing like 4 classes. But the dean of the college and my basketball coach, Jim Calhoun, who retired from the University of Connecticut today, after all those years of success, called my house when I was a freshman. And I was telling them yesterday I was making more money working in the steel mill as a chemist. I only had to do one thing, roll my behind around in a chair, press a button, and if the light came on, add some acid to the mixture of the byproduct that went back in to make what they call, they transfer coal to coke. And then they use it for fertilizer in fields and other kinds of things. And that was my job every half hour. And back in the early 70s, I was making like $13 an hour. Now, I was rich back then. $13 an hour in 1974 was about what now? Maybe about $26 or $27 an hour. I think some of you like that job. Guess what? My mother made me get on a Greyhound bus and go back to Boston. Not the plane. The plane I could get on because they used to have what they call student fares. You can get on a plane for like $20 and fly to Boston. She made me get on a bus. That's how mad she was at my behind, because I didn't tell her a lie, but I didn't tell her the whole truth, which was I had a great average, but if I had not stayed on track and went back, I wouldn't have graduated on time, and the rest would have been historical, different than this. The history would have been different than this, because my behind would not have graduated. I would have been one of those people who try to sneak your parents in, and you act like you're graduating, and you try to sneak across the stage, and you have this thing and nothing's in it, and you don't want them to see it. I'd have been that guy. But then my sisters would have been they're so nosy, they would have been all in my little folder, and I would have been busted anyway. So be resilient. Be you. This pen that you're going to get today is nothing but an incomplete symbol of your commitment, your perseverance, and your excellence. It can never completely embody the meaning of what it means to be you and the wonderful student that you're going to be, or the meaning that it really points to is all the success that you're going to be moving forward to in the future. The power of that pen depends on you and your drive and your excellence. So today, we endow you with this pen, entrusting you to remain committed to scholarship and to remain committed to learning and to persevere through obstacles that are going to come up. They're going to come up. No matter who you are, something over the next 4 years is going to make you have to say, wow. And you're going to have to deal with it, persevere, and move on, so that you can pursue excellence in all of the undertakings that you have as a student of this university. So today, we embrace you as kindred spirits in this great work that we are engaged in on this campus and in this community. Thank you all for choosing your university, the University of Massachusetts, Boston. Because of you in this class, you've elevated all of what our founders dreamed of to another level, just because you're you. And so thank you for choosing us. I look forward to working with you over this next few years together, and we're going to have a bright future, and we're going to learn from each other, and we're going to make it all happen. I'm so proud that you say yes. Thank you for that. And let's work. Let's make it happen together, all right? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chancellor Motley. I hope that that is the first of many times that you'll get to hear our Chancellor speak. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us today. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the person who just a little over a year ago charged me with creating this program from his vision. He told me, I want an investiture and I want it now. And I said, all right, Vice Chancellor, I'll see what I can do for you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, Patrick Day, for your official ceremonial pinning.
Okay, class of 2016, please stand up and give yourself a round of applause. Like you mean it, like you're excited to be here, like you want to be a part of UMass Boston. You have done great things, and we are so incredibly proud of you. I want everybody to please take your pen off your program. Please take your pen off your program. And now what I'd like for you to do with your pen is I'd like for you to turn to your neighbor and pin your neighbor. Now ask their permission, don't just start poking them. Say hello, you might want to introduce yourself. Be nice. Try and stay focused. Be polite. If they're uncomfortable, just hand them your pen so that they have it. Look all around you. Look each way. Make sure that your neighbor has a pen. Make sure that there's nobody around you in the class of 2016 that doesn't have a pen. Make sure you are responsible for those around you. Now, let me have your attention just one more time. This pen is a symbol of, first of all, who you are. You are the class of 2016. And we call you the class of 2016 because we need you to graduate in 2016. That is 4 years from now. We want you to be committed to graduating in 4 years. You have seen it in the cafeteria, and you will hear us talk about it. You heard the chancellor speak about it. We want you to start on track, and we want you to stay on track. That's what we want for you. And that's why we are taking today to create you as a class, to say that you are the class of 2016. I had you pin one another because I want you to understand the interdependent nature of being a class. A class doesn't mean you're just doing your own thing. It means you look next to you each way to make sure that your neighbor, your classmate, is doing what they need to do. And if they need help, it means you help them. If you need help, it means you ask for help. It means that you make sure that those around you who are in your class, the class of 2016, are moving along with you. That is the commitment. It also is a commitment to academic performance. You heard the Associate Provost talk about the extraordinary opportunities that are available to you. And here's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are at this point where it is about academic performance. It is about studying. It is about connecting with your professors in ways that you have never done before. It is about taking advantage academically of everything that this extraordinary university has to offer. It is about saying, now I am beginning this experience called the University of Massachusetts, Boston, my freshman year, my beginning of my college years, because I am a part of the class of 2016. It means getting involved. It means saying that the class of 2016 is here. The class of 2016 is going to have an impact. The class of 2016 is going to change this institution in positive ways. That's why we have this pinning ceremony. That's why you pin your classmate. You are the class of 2016, and part of our investiture today is saying that we have expectations of you. And the only reason we have expectations of you is because we are completely confident in your ability to do great things. So again, to the class of 2016, give yourself a round of applause like you are ready to get down to business. Now, the chancellor has whispered in my ear, as he does, appropriately so. Some of your classmates aren't here, and I just spent time talking to you about being a class. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure that the pins that we have that were for your classmates, that you as a class will go find your classmates who aren't here, and that you will begin to pin them. Because we want you to take ownership for your class. We expect to see you.
Bring them to be pinned.
Or bring them to be pinned. The chancellor wants you to be walking across graduation, so we're sitting here out there on that front lawn that we were on today, welcoming you as members of the alumni in 4 years. So guess what? You now have a responsibility for your classmates that were unable to join us today, and we want you to find them. We want you to make sure that they get a pin as well. Chancellor.
So I'm going to be wearing this pin, and I'm going to be looking at you. You don't have to wear it every day. I know that. Chancellors, I'm going to wear mine. But find those people that aren't here. You know your friends, folk you've met. Get them up. Where should they come to get their pin?
Our office on the second floor.
Second floor. Where's your office?
Room 2401, New Student Programs office. We'll have them for you there.
New Student Programs office. All right? I want all of those people, 100%, to have a pen. Okay? So that when we have a formal event for you all and we ask you to wear your pens, you'll be in that room with that pen on. Okay? All right? So thank you.
Class of 2016. Again, give yourself a round of applause.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We are so excited at the turnout for our first ever Class of 2016 Investiture ceremony. Thank you, Chancellor Motley, for joining us today. You made this an unforgettable event. Thank you so much, Christy, as well, for representing the Office of the Provost. Thank you, Vice Chancellor Day. And thank you so much, Jesse Wright, for joining us.
Are you going to be giving away any of those sweatshirts and stuff?
Yes, we will, Chancellor, in just a few minutes.
Chancellor's not eligible?
You might be. All right. So we do have several extra pins. So if you want to grab some on your way out, we can give some for you to share with your friends. And as the Chancellor said, our office is on the second floor, Suite 2401. Come by our office. We'll have plenty of pins for you. So make sure you come by and grab some. In just a few moments, you'll be able to get some ice cream. We do have ice cream on both sides of the room, and we also have non-dairy options over on this side for those of you that are looking for a non-dairy option. And we're going to be continuing our raffle. We have plenty more prizes to give away, including our free semester parking pass. So stick around, make sure you have your raffle tickets, and we're going to start raffling them off in just a few moments. Thank you so much.